My people. Oh, let me tell you, I have missed you all so very much. The past few weeks have sort of been insane for me, but in the best possible way, right? Our company just hosted our annual conference, the BlackStars Experience in New York City, and it was a massive success. It was so great to see and connect with many of you there. You all came up to me, you said, I watch your show, and I was just so happy. It made me so proud of the community that we're building, and I hope to see even many more of you there next year. Now, listen, I still haven't fully caught up on sleep yet, okay? So we've got some work to do, but I just couldn't wait to get back in this seat with you all, breaking it down like we always do. And yes, we've missed a lot, but I promise we are going to catch up, okay? This is The Breakdown. All right, my people. So let's talk about the BlackStars Experience for a minute. Because what began in 2019 in Houston as a simple celebration of Black leadership, a moment to honor excellence and give our people visibility, much needed visibility, has now grown into a movement that is driving inclusion in global business and creating real economic outcomes for our community. Now, before we continue, I want to briefly address something with you all because a number of my Ghanaian viewers here have been asking. So earlier this year, the government of Ghana launched an art and tourism initiative that coincidentally or not, they chose to also call BlackStar Experience. And as you can imagine, that has created a lot of confusion with people reaching out, wondering if the two are connected. Okay, so let me clarify and be completely frank with you all. They are completely separate initiatives. When I heard that the government was launching an initiative called BlackStar Experience, my first reaction was, oh, wow, what are the odds? Either this is a pure coincidence, which would be insane, or, well, let's just say someone was inspired by the name, right? But I did what I felt was the right thing to do, especially in case it was a coincidence, which was I reached out to the government to let them know that, hey, this is an existing brand in the US created by two Ghanaians, and to propose some sort of a partnership to collaborate and align both missions, right? I wanted to simply avoid the type of confusion that's happening right now and to also explore synergy. Because the truth is, what we're building can meaningfully support Ghana's long-term economic goals through access to investors, global executives, and industry decision makers. So we decided to see it as an opportunity rather than, a conflict. Unfortunately, we did not receive a response after multiple attempts, right? So that leaves us in a place where there are two different initiatives with the same name floating around. I don't like it, but there's very little I can do about it right now. And I want to be clear, right? The name Black Star does not belong to any one person or even any company or any government. The term was coined by Marcus Garvey in the early 1900s for his shipping company, the Black Star Line, where he had a vision to connect the Black diaspora globally. Now that name inspired Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who adopted it for Ghana, which is why we have the Ghana Black Stars national football team, among so many other things. So this is part of our heritage, our shared identity, and our story as a people. Now, we chose the name BlackStars Experience to honor that history of the Pan-African vision Garvey imagined. However, BlackStars Experience, right, with the experience added, is a brand that we created and built right here in the US to drive that vision forward by bringing leaders of African descent across industries together, celebrating their excellence, their impact, and advancing economic opportunity. As the originators of this platform, we will continue growing and expanding our impact, but I wanted to clarify this so there's no confusion when you hear the name elsewhere. Double check, fact check, understand which one you're talking about, right? And hey, let me just say that our door remains open If in the future the government is interested in collaboration, we are ready. And I only share this to clarify because many of you asked, and I also want you to know that we practice what we preach here on the show. We reached out in the spirit of partnership, collaboration, and unity. Okay, now let's continue. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy it, I want to invite you to join our family here at PanaGenius TV and be a part of conversations that are shaping the future. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for alerts. And if you want to support our work and help us reach more people, you can drop a super thanks on this video or join our growing membership community. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get back to the show. So on November 13th and 14th, we brought together over 1,000 industry leaders, innovators, and allies for 2 powerful days. And what we witnessed was nothing short of transformational. Because here's what I always say, right? It's not enough to talk about the kind of world that we want to live in. We have to build it intentionally, relentlessly, and together. And that is the heart of the BlackStars Experience. It is quickly becoming one of the most powerful convenience of leaders across sectors who are designing the future of business, community, and culture in real time. Now, I'm going to bring you a full breakdown of all the sessions, the insights, and the awards show soon. Trust me, you're going to want to hear and see the full picture of what went down. But for now, I want to share a few highlights with you. Okay, so we kicked off on November 13th with the BlackStars Summit and Career Expo, where talent meets opportunity. Now, that day was all about learning from industry leaders, discussing the trends that are transforming work and life, from AI to tech, finance, healthcare, the future of leadership, and more importantly, connecting talent to real career opportunities. We had recruiters from Fortune 500 companies, global brands, and mission-driven organizations ready to meet incredible talent and play an active role in designing the future. Now, all the sessions were incredible, but one of the standout moments for me was seeing 4 trailblazing Black women in finance from 3 of the world's leading institutions, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and Chase, all come together on one stage. They spoke about economic inclusion, about the work that they're driving inside their companies to ensure that our community isn't left behind, and more importantly, about what they must do together to break barriers, redefine inclusion, and challenge the status quo in real time. Now, there is nothing like being in the room yourself to listen and engage, but I want you to take a look at this highlight reel.
Entrepreneurship is the new wealth engine.
Money is energy, and the way that you deploy it, it comes back to you 100-fold. When you go to school, are you looking for a job, or are you developing your owner's mindset?
You are a multi-billion-dollar organization and your career is your product.
We need to challenge the mindset that inclusion and diversity is about lifting up people who are less qualified or less capable. Make the narrative about unlocking that talent, unleashing the brilliant.
Inclusive research really means that everyone, regardless of their background, has an equal opportunity to participate in clinical research, and that the research that we do really reflects the community that we're serving.
Less than 1% of funding goes to entrepreneurs of color, less than 2% to women. So we provide $250,000 of equity investment. We're investing 5%. 146 companies to date deployed about $38 million in capital. We continue to do the work.
And that's why it's so important that there are more fund managers that look like us, that have experienced the problems that we are solving.
This is where corporate meets culture, where talent meets opportunity, and where the present meets the future.
AI is changing business. It is transforming how companies operate, and therefore it's also transforming the workplace. This is not a tech thing. This is an everyone thing.
Sometimes it's just finding and connecting with people who care. And a piece of technology and an AI bot can't do that. That's human. That's humanism.
Oof, take me back. And then day 2, the BlackStars Awards Gala, the biggest night where excellence, leadership, and impact meet culture. And let me tell you, the stars came out. Yes, they did. From the fashion to the networking to just the power in the room. There was no better place to be that night. And if you were in the room, you were in the right place. We honor trailblazers and allies across industries, leaders who have shattered ceilings, expanded opportunity and possibility, and are paving the road forward for others. And we honored the future too. Yes, awarding scholarships to our future Black stars. My people, my heart was full, deeply full. Now take a look at the recap from the awards gala.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin.
Tonight is a celebration of power, purpose, and it is a celebration of possibility.
Congratulations to all of the individuals and organizations that are being recognized for exemplifying and amplifying Black excellence.
I honestly think next year, Sandra and Isaac, you need another place. This place is full.
Our purpose in life is not what we do, it's how people react to what we do. Have an impact, leave your own legacy.
This is not just a gala, this is a movement with momentum.
Behind every Black star here is a person that supported them.
Because it was one woman, her name is Lisa Opoku, who decided to see past my torn jeans and my love of the streets, to see that underneath that I was a Black star.
And our mission and allyship requires so much more than advocacy. It requires redesigning a system that wasn't built for everyone.
Here at the BlackStars Experience, we don't just celebrate the leaders of today, we celebrate the leaders of tomorrow.
Purpose is powerful. None of us creates impact alone.
Your mentorship, partnerships, and your belief in young talent transform not just careers, but entire communities.
We recently launched BlackStars Foundation. It's a 501c3 organization that is committed to elevating and helping build the next generation of Black stars.
I started this because I had a dream to educate others about science, the world, and positivity.
We are thrilled to present a $2,500 scholarship to each of these future Black stars honorees tonight.
So here's to the bold ones, the brave ones, the leaders who refuse to shrink, who choose authenticity over approval, and who dare to take up space.
Do not let anyone dictate your next chapter when you have the opportunity to define it. Whenever you are witnessing change, that is when you should whisper to yourself, opportunity has arrived.
Whew. Now, before we move forward, I want to say something, my people. There are a lot of great award shows out there, but Black Stars is something truly special, and it's because of who we honor. You know, in our community, the examples of success that were shown most often are what we see on TV. You know, celebrities, athletes, musicians, and rappers, actors. And listen, those achievements are remarkable, and we honor them. But here's the truth. There is less than a 1% chance of becoming a global athlete or celebrity. Actually, one estimate puts the number at something like around 0.0086% chance. Yes. So if those are the only success stories that we elevate, we unintentionally tell millions of young people that success is rare, elusive, and almost unattainable. But Black Stars is rewriting that narrative. We shine a light on the leaders behind the scenes, the executives, the innovators, the strategists, the deal makers, the builders, the operators, the people who keep the systems running, the people who create the opportunities, the people who make the magic possible, quietly, in their boardrooms, in their offices, like the SVP of Business Operations at the NBA, Without women like her, the league simply wouldn't function. You see? These are the unsung heroes of our community, the ones proving that success is not mythical, right? It's not some sort of a myth, but that it's achievable. Because not everyone will become a celebrity, right? Not everyone will be an artist or an athlete, but everyone can become a Black star. That's right. Everyone can lead. Everyone can impact. Everyone can build. Everyone can leave something better than they found it. That is the message. That is the movement we're building. And as I reflected on everything we witnessed at BlackStars, the excellence, the innovation, the intentionality, the community, something just hit me. We're stepping into a new era. Because leadership today cannot look like leadership of the past. The world is changing faster than ever. Technology is rewriting every industry. Work, culture, and power are shifting. People are demanding more transparency, more authenticity, more purpose. And 2 weeks before BlackStars, I spoke at the Elevate Africa conference in Botswana, where the theme was the next chapter. And that question has been ringing in my mind ever since. So today, I want us to go deeper. What is the next chapter of leadership? What kind of leaders do we need now? What must we become? Because if we want to build the kind of future that we dream of, we need a new kind of leadership. Not symbolic leadership, not positional leadership, not leadership for visibility, but leadership that is rooted in impact. So what does that look like, right? Let's break it down. Number one, I believe that we need leaders who build, not just speak. Here's the truth. The era of symbolic leadership is over. The era of performance leadership is over. We no longer need leaders who just look powerful. We need leaders who are actually doing powerful things. Because talking is not transformation. Visibility is not impact. And PR is not progress, right? The leaders of the next chapter must be builders. I'm talking about builders of ideas, builders of systems, builders of institutions, builders of opportunities, builders of movements. Leaders who don't just comment on the world, but shape it. That's why every now and then I need to get out of this seat and go out there. Leaders who don't just criticize what's broken, but who create what's missing. We need leaders who take responsibility for solutions, not just the spotlight. Leaders who turn vision into infrastructure. Because here's the reality. If we don't build our own institutions, we will always depend on somebody else's. And my people, that era has to be over. This generation must create, must construct, must develop the frameworks, the platforms, the pipelines, and the enterprises that will allow our people to thrive. That is leadership. One that is rooted in action, grounded in building, and one that leaves something tangible behind. Number two, I believe that we need leaders who embody courage and integrity. Leadership today requires a special kind of courage. Not the loud kind, right? Not the social media kind, not the press release, get an applause kind. But I'm talking real courage. The courage to stand for something even when it's unpopular. The courage to speak truth when silence would be easier. The courage to do the right thing even when no one is watching. The courage to hold yourself accountable. Because the next chapter of leadership cannot be built on fear. It cannot be built on ego. It cannot be built on what's convenient. We need leaders with backbone, leaders with character, leaders with moral grounding, because integrity Integrity is no longer optional. It's not an option anymore. And we're living in a time where people are watching leaders closer than ever, where public trust is at an all-time low, where communities have been disappointed over and over and over again, and they are looking for something new. So who will rise in this moment? Who will lead with integrity when nobody sees? Who will lead with courage when everyone doubts? Who will choose purpose over popularity? The next chapter of leadership requires that, a different kind of character. And we're not talking about perfection. No one is perfect, right? But we're talking about just courage, accountability, consistency, and conviction. Because you can be talented, you can be innovative and brilliant, but without integrity and courage, you cannot lead a generation. And number 3, my people, I believe that we need leaders who invest in the next generation. And this is a critical one for me. Leadership is not legacy if it ends with you. And we're seeing this play out across Africa today, particularly with leaders who refuse to step down because they say there is no pipeline. There is no one as good as me to lead my nation. Now, how they can actually be proud of that blows my mind. But this shows up in corporations too, with leaders who refuse to step down and let others lead. We cannot call ourselves leaders if the door is only open for us, can we? And then they stay closed behind us. So the next chapter of leadership must be rooted in investment in people, investment in talent, investment in the next generation. Because the truth is this, if we don't build a pipeline, what do we build? A ceiling. And we've had enough ceilings everywhere. So we need leaders who mentor intentionally, who sponsor boldly, who share knowledge freely, who create opportunities strategically, and who open doors publicly and privately. Those who speak your name in the right rooms where you're not present, and those who bring others into the rooms that they fought to enter. Because real leadership is not reflected in how far you rise on your own. It's reflected in how many people rise with you. So we must commit to building successors, not followers. We must build pathways, not bottlenecks. We must build the next wave right now. The next founders, the next CEOs, the next innovators, the next policymakers, the next Black Stars. Yes, because if we do not prepare the next generation, we risk losing everything that we're fighting for. And that, my people, cannot happen. Number 4, I believe that we need leaders who collaborate across boundaries. And this is also another important one, because for too long, we've been conditioned to operate in isolation, to compete instead of collaborate, and to protect instead of share. It's almost like surviving instead of building together. But the world has changed, and the challenges that we face today are too complex. They are too global. They are too interconnected for any single leader, company, or sector to solve alone. So the next chapter of leadership requires collaboration, not performative collaboration, but strategic collaboration. I'm talking real partnership, real alignment, real synergy, shared vision. So we need leaders who work across industries, who break barriers between sectors, unite institutions, who connect talent across borders, who partner instead of posture, right? Who build pipelines across communities. Because collaboration is not weakness. Collaboration has to be seen as strength in this new era. We rise faster when we rise together. We innovate better when we innovate together. We build bigger when we build together. And that's what the future demands of us. Cross-sector alliances, cross-cultural alliances, cross-border alliances, from finance to tech, business, culture, Africa, and the diaspora. This is how power multiplies. And the leaders of the next chapter will not lead alone. They will lead together. And finally, my people, we need leaders who hold a global vision. And let's zoom out for a second. Leadership in this next chapter cannot be local. It cannot be limited. It cannot be small, right? Because as I said, our community now is global. Our influence is global and our challenges are global too. So that means the opportunities ahead are global. Our leadership must reflect that. The leaders of the next chapter must think beyond borders. They must understand global economics, yes. Global power shifts, yes. Global demographics, global competition, global politics, global innovation, and what that looks like. Because whether we acknowledge it or not, we are living in a world where decisions made in Beijing, Washington, Brussels, Lagos, or Johannesburg can shape our futures instantly. So we need leaders who can connect Africa and the diaspora, markets and communities, global capital and local opportunity, innovation and inclusion. We need leaders who understand that the strength of our future lies not in fragmentation, but in global alignment. Leaders who see possibility in partnerships across continents, and leaders who can mobilize talent across oceans. And leaders who recognize that the Black world is not separate, that it is one ecosystem, that if we build together globally, we will unleash this superpower that enables us to rise faster than anyone ever imagined. So, my people, as we build the next chapter, here's what I want to leave you with. Leadership is not a title. Leadership is not a job description. Leadership is not a seat at the table. No, that's not enough. Leadership today, being a leader, like these Black stars that we celebrated, we reminded them that your leadership is a responsibility. And every single one of us, every Black star, every ally, every visionary, every builder has a role to play in the next chapter of our community and our world. We cannot sit around and wait for permission. We cannot wait for the perfect condition. We cannot wait for someone else to fix the things that we were born to change. With our seat at the table, this is our time. It's our season. It is our chapter. The baton is in our hands now. And the next chapter of leadership must, and I say must, be written by us, by leaders who build, by leaders with courage, by leaders who invest in others, by leaders who collaborate, and by leaders who think globally. So being a Black star is a charge. It's a charge that we gave to these leaders to reimagine the world and to shape it, to lead it, to design it intentionally. And I want to say to you, wherever you are, whatever you have, whatever you know, you are a star, a Black star. So lead boldly, lead intentionally, lead with purpose, lead with vision, and most of all, lead with compassion. And if you're a corporation or an institution, let me just say that the greatest investment you can make right now is an investment in building leaders, developing leaders, supporting your leaders, elevating your leaders, empowering your leaders, preparing your leaders, and giving your leaders visibility. Leaders who reflect the world that we live in. Your leaders who understand the communities that they're serving. Leaders who build with empathy and integrity. And leaders who commit to creating access and opportunities. Leaders who ensure that in this new chapter, no one will be left behind. Because the future will belong to the organizations that invest in the next generation of leadership today. So, my people, let's build the next chapter. together. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment to let me know what you think. And if you are new to our channel here, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community. I'm Sandra Babu-Boateng. And until next time, take care.